Virginia's outgoing governor, Tim Kaine, is also the chairman of the Democratic National Committee, and Virginia Congressman Eric Cantor is the House Republican whip. Guys, good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Matt.
I want to talk about the president, and I want to talk about Virginia specifically in a second, but let me start with a bigger issue. And Governor Kaine, let's give this one to you. Jobs and the economy, that's what voters told us were their priorities in this election, and the Republicans take the two key slots here. So what does it say about the way voters think the Republicans either are or will handle those two key issues?
Well, there is anxiety out there about the economy, Matt, and that played a factor in a lot of these races. But what we see is for 24 years, the party that holds the White House loses both of these governorships. That's the historic trend, and last night followed that trend, unfortunately. We were very interested in the New York 23 race. Jobs and economy is a big issue there, too. But the Republican candidate, Eric and his colleagues put nearly $1 million into that race, got chased out by the right wing of the party, endorsed our candidate, and we won a seat in that district that a Democrat hasn't held in over 100 years. So the jobs and economy issues are out there. What we're seeing is a president who has dramatically cut the rate of job loss from where it was under the Bush administration. President is very popular in Virginia. The exit polls showed, both in Virginia and New Jersey, that the president really retains a strong popularity among the voters in both states.
Let me get to Congressman Cantor. Obviously, Governor Kaine is putting the best possible spin on this, Congressman, but Republicans are very happy with their wins in these two governor's races yesterday. But is it possible that you look too much into these results, that you put too much into them?
Well, Matt, what I think the voters of both Virginia and New Jersey said last night was that they would like to see a more positive-based policy agenda. They would like to see a much more united message focused on jobs and the economy. Clearly, I think voters here in Virginia and New Jersey saw candidates that rejected the politics of attack and wanted to see us all come together so that we can provide some solutions. Taking away from this, we look to 2010, and I do think that the Virginia model shows that when we're united as a party, independents are attracted to our message of common sense, conservative vision for the future, where we can empower folks to get their economic security back.
Hey, let me go back to Governor Kaine. Let's talk about Virginia for a second. Creed Deeds really lost badly here by double digits. He was outspent in advertising. So what turned Virginia back to the Republican side after it went Democratic for President Obama in the last election?
Well, as you know, Matt, Virginia, that the fact that a Republican would win a statewide race in Virginia would be news. It wouldn't have been news 5 years ago. It would have been like the sun coming up in the morning. But in the last few years, we've won both U.S. Senate seats. We've won a majority of the House. We've taken back the state Senate, and we've won electoral votes. But last night's match in Virginia was a rematch, as you know. Creed Deeds had run against Bob McDonnell 4 years ago and lost. And so when he became the party nominee this year, Bob had been a statewide official for 4 years and had been able to build up both a war chest and name recognition that gave him. And everybody knew that Cree was the underdog in this race. We've been winning a lot of races with underdogs in Virginia, but not every underdog wins. Cree's a great state senator, but in the rematch, he just couldn't improve upon where he was 4 years ago. Again, we've got this trend in Virginia. It's been 36 years where the White House goes one way and then the governor's race goes another. This schism, though, within the Republican Party that was demonstrated in New York 23 with the right-wing candidate chasing out the Republican moderate, we're seeing that play out all over the country coming into 2010 in Florida, in Texas, in dust-ups yesterday between Tim Pawlenty and Olympia Snowe, Arlen Specter's defection from the party over to the Democratic side. You're going to see this story continue.
Congressman, Governor Kaine obviously wants to talk about that. I want to go to one other thing, the president and his popularity. He put his prestige on the line in these two big races, although we were told by voters that 55% of people in Virginia said he was not a factor in their decision, 60% of voters in New Jersey. And I'm not sure whether that's good or bad news for President Obama, that people didn't care or didn't blame him. What do you think?
Well, Matt, it really was about the policies the president's been promoting. And listen, I think the telling numbers were 85% of voters in Virginia said this election was about their concerns over the economy. 90% of the voters in New Jersey said this election was about the economy. People have clearly made a choice in our states. They have said no to the one-way street of the economic policies of the Obama administration and the Pelosi Congress, and they have embraced the very different way and the better way that Bob McDonnell and Chris Christie have been promoting as to how to get this economy back on track.
Two very different points of view this morning,
Maddie,
Congress. Real quickly, Governor.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Matt, even Chairman Michael Steele last night said this wasn't a referendum on the president because the exit polls showed very strongly that the voters in both states still have a very favorable view of how this president is doing his job in a very tough time.
All right, Governor Kane, Congressman Cantor, thank you both very much this morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.